Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you some tactical analysis over on the Bitcoin chart as Bitcoin continues to crash, not just on an hourly or a daily, but on a weekly basis. So with that being said, let's jump right to the weekly chart. And so in reality, looking at the last 6 weekly candles that have closed for Bitcoin, the most recent one just closed yesterday, they've all closed negative. We've had a basically 6-week sell-off in Bitcoin, as there does not appear to be any buyers stepping up at pretty much any level right now. And so if we drop in the EMA ribbons, we see more bearish signals as the EMA ribbon has now flipped pretty much, and you have your short-term EMAs like your greens and blues down below your reds and yellows, which is again a bearish signal. And anytime that happens on these longer time frames for Bitcoin, we typically head into a bear market. Now, it's pretty obvious we've been in a bear market for a while now, but this is just more confirmation. I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there that just amaze me. They're like perma bulls. They never see the bearish side to this. And in reality, as a trader, you need to see both sides. You let the charts dictate the current market conditions. And with that being said, we're actually getting even closer to another very bearish signal. If the Bitcoin weekly chart closes below this white line, which is the 120-day moving average for Bitcoin, that will once again be even more bearish, and the price of Bitcoin will more than likely continue to sell off. Now, if it can find support here, and maybe we'll get a bounce, it might be a short-term bounce, but perhaps the price will bounce off this 120, then perhaps we might see a bounce, although it probably will be short-lived, into like the 37.5 level, which was previous support, is going to be probably pretty strong resistance going forward. And then maybe if it can actually bounce above that, then I would see 40,000 as another level of resistance. And if you're wondering, the last time the Bitcoin weekly price closed below this moving average was back in March of 2020. And so that was the dump based on the worldwide breakout. Now, if I drop in the Fibonacci retracement, I'm basically going from the low of 32,917 to the high of the 48,189. And as you can see, since the rejection up here, Bitcoin has just crushed through pretty much every level of support, is currently crushing through the 32,917 or 33,000 level of support we had been looking to hold for the last couple videos last week. And right now, Bitcoin's price is actually crushing down below that. It's early in the week, so there is a chance for a reversal. But again, there's really no significant buyers stepping up. And in reality, actually, a lot of folks are moving their Bitcoin back onto exchanges, and that typically just means more sell pressure. And if that's the case, the next level of support we need to look at would be the low back here of the May sell-off of 2021, and that came in at around 28.8. And wouldn't you know it, right over here on the Fibonacci, the 1272 actually comes in at 28,763, so pretty much 28.8. Now, one thing I want to point out, as a trader for many years, when you see numbers repeating, that should get your attention, and those numbers should stay on your radar. And so in this case, what I would be looking at is support at around this 28.8. If that line fails to hold, then we're more than likely looking back at this 168 level, which is going to put us around 23,500. However, this 28.8 level, if we look back and check our 6, it has been a pretty strong zone of support all the way back here, and of course during the summer sell-off last year. And so if this zone breaks down, Bitcoin is in serious trouble of continuing to crash even lower. And if you actually look down a little further, kind of a worst case scenario in my opinion would be around the 272 level, and that puts us at around 13.5. as that would actually be, if you look back, around here where the Bitcoin bull market started. Now on the flip side, with this much sell pressure going on, as you look back through the chart, you don't really see Bitcoin selling off for multiple weeks like we've currently seen. That's a lot of sell pressure. So in theory, I would not be surprised to see some sort of bounce in the near future on the weekly candles. But keep in mind, that might just be a dead cat bounce, and we might bounce back up into, like I said, this 37.5 level, or maybe as high as 40,000, only to reject and then continue this sell-off. And it's important to note, these are the weekly candles. That means these moves aren't going to happen overnight. It will take weeks, if not months, for these moves to actually play out. So with that being said, we'll look at a shorter time frame and we'll jump over here to the daily candles. Now, last week on the daily candle chart, I was keeping a close eye on this bottom trend line, and once the price broke through that trend line, the next level of support was going to be this 786 level, which came in around 36.5. And so as you can see, it sold right through that level, and right now the next level of support really is around the 33,000 level, which is in line with the 32.9 that we were looking at over on the weekly chart. And right now, on today's candle, Bitcoin's price has sold through that level of support, and the next level of real true support is back down here at the 1272 on the Fibonacci retracement. And of course, that's coming in right around 28.9, or really I would say that 28.8 level. And again, I want to stress, when you're looking at support or resistance levels, they're not really like a single number line in the sand. It's more of a zone. And so in this case, that zone of support would more than likely be around 30,000 to 28,000. That would be your zone of support. But again, it's important to note there has been numerous days of this sell pressure. We are looking at 5 days in a row. If today's candle ends negative, 5 days in a row of sell pressure. And so the last time we saw something like that on the Bitcoin chart, we would need to look back here and check our 6 all the way back to January, where we had this sell-off. And then we saw kind of a dead cat bounce, only for a continued sell-off. And so on this shorter time frame, perhaps we will see a bounce, albeit probably a dead cat bounce, up into this 37.5 level, only to then eventually roll over and perhaps seek out that 28.8 level. And again, on the flip side, if at some point buyers do decide to step up and are able to push the price above, realistically right now, it's got to be at least this 50% level of 40,500. But at the end of the day, for me to even consider a flip in the market to bullish, I need to see the price above more than likely 45.5. Perhaps even above this 48,000 level where it rejected from most recently. And so with that being said, in theory, we could expect Bitcoin's price to continue to sell off as long as the buyers continue to fail to step up. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. If anything major changes over here on the charts, I will do an update video. So now would be a good time to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss future updates. If you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. And in closing, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.